Well, the day has finally come. The day in which I honestly thought I would never think about having to talk about this, because, to be honest, there is a certain comment or two to be made. The fact that Andrew Tate is very old news, I suppose. But there is also a very strong indication to make about the fact that Andrew Tate's misogyny, his operation, shall we put it, his life and crimes are something that needs to be well and truly documented, and the sort of thing that also needs to be demonstrated about why it's not a good idea to do the things that Andrew Tate does. And this is something that has been expressed and said for a while, and well, unfortunately, it's hardly as if the influence of Andrew Tate has dissipated or gone away for a long time. His fear of influence, shockingly, is still very, very active, and it's garnered some not particularly nice. I've got into conversations with people who end up saying some very not very nice things about women, and they don't even mean it in a joking sort of way. They mean it with a curious level of sincerity, as though they really do hate women. But we'll talk about that as it'll probably get mentioned down the line. So, first of all, who is Andrew Tate? Well, let's go through the list, shall we, at the Andrew Tate Wall of Shame. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her by the neck, shut up, bitch. Andrew Tate endorsing domestic violence, because nothing quite says deplorable when you end up saying stuff like that. And Andrew Tate, what you're going to find out is that Andrew Tate isn't particularly bothered or really worried whatsoever about what people think of him, which is commendable, sort of, because it proves that underneath that bald spot Andrew Tate's got there is a very thick skin. However, thick doesn't necessarily mean brave at the same time. He's bold, but bold at the same. He's two different types of bold. It is as if someone has taken every type of woman hater you can think of, a footballer, an incel, an Arab sheik, the Tinder swindler, and rolled them into one menacing, manscaped action doll, given them loads of guns, money, and cars, and made them say worse things than Donald Trump. Camilla Long from the Times newspaper. Don't take life advice from people like Andrew Tate, not just because he used to get kicked in the head for a living, and not just because he's currently covered in lice and cockroaches in a jail cell, and not just because he's an admitted R-word. Well, actually, yes, don't listen to him for all those reasons, but also don't listen to him because he's wrong. He looked at this unfair exploitative system and said, I'm going to climb up it by myself so I can buy a car. Can you honestly tell me with a straight face that choosing to live as he does has made Andrew Tate happy? Sean, 3638. So let's go through the beginning, shall we? Emory Andrew Tate III, born 1986, is a former kickboxer turned webcam-based relationship scammer, king of toxic masculinity, personality cult leader, food hater, book hater, and leader of an investment and dropshipping advice business. Born in Washington, D.C. to an African-American chess master, he mostly resided in Europe, being raised in the British city of Luton and later living and being imprisoned in Bucharest, Romania. After some participation in kickboxing, Tate rose to fame in meme culture when he started stating outlandish claims about women in some podcasts he appeared in. After scamming men off a webcam business, Tate got rich and decided to endeavour in more scams to the same people he deceived, which included a book about hooking women and his latest con ring, Hustlers University. In December 2022, Tate was arrested in Romania along with his brother and an unnamed former policewoman on charges of human trafficking. Tate is well known for being involved in multiple sexual abuse scandals, which included when he was in Big Brother and most recently Romania. Some of examples of his slow decline include being subject of a police investigation and being banned from social media platforms despite his fanboys continuing to post his fringe views daily. Tristan, his younger brother, is often an accomplice in his various schemes. I would have said nefarious schemes, but they are the same. Now, you may be looking at all this and thinking to yourself, wow, like, this Andrew Tate sounds like a pretty nasty piece of work, because in no modern society do people get away with it, or if they do, they don't get away with it for very long. You've heard me say this before, ladies and gentlemen. People like Andrew Tate parade around thinking that they are almost on top of the world. But nobody stays on top forever, as we all know. Early career. I think that he is so seductive to such a big audience because the image of masculinity that he sells is one that's very rooted in traditional male characteristics. He's very big on this idea of the alpha male, the man that's in control. I think some men can see that as a particularly attractive trait, but is also big on conspicuous consumption. He lives a very jet-set lifestyle. Fast cars, private planes, mansions, expensive holidays away, and then he has really traditional and, to my mind, outdated views about what a relationship should look like. And what the role of men and women in those relationships should be. What he says goes. It's his way or the highway. Women are only there to attend to the house, to look after the kids, to really be in service of the relationship. I think my immediate reaction was probably one of sadness that this is the image of masculinity that sells. Robert Lawson, Associate Professor in Sociolinguistics at Birmingham City University. One of his first interests was chess due to his father. He managed to attend some adult tournaments but rage quit after a few losses. Tate had practiced martial arts since 2005, managing to win 17 of his 19 fights. In 2009, he attempted working in advertising, but instead won his first bout of a cruiserweight championship in the city of Derby, achieving a rank in the European division. In the following years, he would obtain 2 world championship titles. Even well prior to his later day infamy, Tate was spouting off hyper-masculine, egotistical, racist, and misogynistic viewpoints on both social media and online interviews, self-describing himself as a pimp superstar, whom God had made better than everybody else. In one 2014 interview, and as toxic masculine in his Twitter profile in 2017, some of these comments resurfaced in tabloid reports during his very short 2016 appearance on the reality series Big Brother. Early controversy and sexual assault allegations. I'm a realist, and when you're a realist, you're sexist. There's no way you could be rooted in reality and not be sexist. This was Andrew Tate on YouTube. Oh God, I'm gonna have a field day when I talk about that. In 2016, Tate managed to appear in the Big Brother show. However, he got booted 11 days after a video emerged of Tate assaulting and threatening his then girlfriend at the time. He claimed the video was consensual sex. 2 other videos would emerge in the British media of Tate assaulting and threatening other women. Tate threatened legal action since it was a leaked private video. In January of 2003, Vice revealed that an additional factor in Tate being given the boot from Big Brother, a separate sexual assault, physical abuse, and rape investigation in 2015, reportedly leading to a brief arrest, that Hertfordshire Police was conducting concerning 2 of his webcam employees. One woman alleged that she was strangled by Tate 5 times and saw Tate choke other women on at least 10 occasions. The other woman alleged was raped. After the rape, according to the 2 women, the victims reported the incidents to the police. Despite Tate's reported threats of physical violence, the police, however, declined to press charges. 1 week later, Vice revealed that a 3rd woman also reported to the police that she was raped by Tate, this time in November 2013. Oh, and by the way, this is also, never seen Star Wars, none of them, never will. OMG, you're missing out, maybe. You're missing out on being a multi-millionaire. Keep your movie. And Andrew Tate says this whilst also wearing a Dio shirt. That's just an insult to Dio, if you ask me. And God, I haven't listened to Holy Diver for such a long time. I feel like it's time for a change. Mental illness denial. Tate denies that depression exists as a clinical illness, acting like it is a propaganda for weak men by Big Pharma. Instead, he asserts that it is a sign to change up. This, of course, sparked backlash from Twitter users about such denialism. Tate responded by claiming agreement from people who were/are depressed and continuing to dismiss it as a defense for weak men. I wonder, I'm assuming in Andrew Tate's world, it doesn't exist for weak women because probably all women are weak in his eyes. Rise in wealth. The jump starter for his wealth came when he opened up a webcam service with his brother called My Free Cams. Men would spend £4 a minute interacting with women in lingerie that were behind poor equipment. The woman would claim to have crippling debt in order to scam men out of their money, and would furthermore have his staff send messages to men on behalf of the models in order to give the false impression of a relationship. The brothers admitted it was a scam, but claimed the authorities couldn't stop them. Oh, I bet they couldn't. According to one report, Tate recruited women to his webcam business by posing as a lover boy or Romeo pimp. This is known as a known tactic of human traffickers, where the trafficker tries to get their victims to fall in love with them for exploitation purposes. These type of traffickers typically target individuals who they perceive as having some vulnerability, such as poverty or emotional distress. That would make the victim more vulnerable and receptive than usual. The trafficker then enters the grooming and gaming stage, posing as a love interest while simultaneously gathering information to use against the victim later. Once the victim is under the trafficker's influence, the trafficker takes advantage of the situation and forces the victim into business like the sex industry, using mental coercion, blackmail, and even physical violence. Reportedly, Tate was using similar tactics during the events that led to his arrest in Romania in late December 2022. Misogyny. Andrew Tate is known for being a pimp. His extremist views about women and masculinity, Tate believes that women are the property of men. Furthermore, he is one of those that believes that rape victims should bear some responsibility. He has said that any man having sex with women for enjoyment is gay. Tate shows a preference for younger women due to being through less dick in their lives, having more imprints available for them. He is pathologically jealous of his female partners, often stating that he never let anyone near them. Why? I mean, he's so alpha it wouldn't even cross her mind, right? Even to the point of saying that he could only administer CPR on those people over everyone else. If I have a chick, even though I know she won't let them smash, even though I know she knows what they're about, even though I know she's loyal to me, out of respect for me, it's not jealousy, it's territorialism. If you want me to truly love you, you are my girl, and no one's going to be allowed to even try. Even though I know you won't let them, if you want to go to the club, you can go to the club with me. His insecurity about the fidelity of his partners just reflects a lot of deep-seated mistrust that most of these misogynists have of women, and the fear that many of their fans have about having no control over their partner's actions, as that's terrifying. To Tate, I suppose. He would often present hostility by threatening to assault women if they don't conform to his values. Tate believes that it's okay for men to cheat, but it's wrong for a woman to cheat. He is one of those people you may immediately say he say a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. One of those assholes. The scam of Hustlers University. I thought it was gonna be actual courses like masterclasses or something. Even Ninja put more effort in his fucking tutorials. You're paying $50 a month for a Discord. Holy shit, that's worse than being a Discord mod. Charles White on Andrew Tate. In 2021, Tate started Hustlers University, which he described as the most fantastic place on the planet for making money, where one can learn to escape the matrix and avoid being a loser or poen, or a wedge slave brokey. Like many get-rich-quick schemes, the promotions are decked with luxury goods in the background to tantalize viewers into being scammed into enrolling into the course. In reality, Tate's school served primarily as a vehicle to promote Tateism, a combination of pro-capitalism and pro-hypermasculinity, through an affiliate program, to spread this messaging all across social media channels, where vulnerable young men might dwell and be seduced by the message. For the $49.99 membership fee, users get access to a Discord server and access to video lessons purportedly teaching, sometimes dubiously, money-making methods such as cryptocurrency investment. The videos, naturally, are also sprinkled with misogynistic and homophobic rhetoric. At Hustlers University, you can learn, for instance, that carrying around a water bottle is gay for some reason. In addition, Tate offered, for the price of $4,497, a special group chat on Telegram on a Telegram channel called The War Room, with purported direct access to Tate himself. So you could be very nearly $5,000 down and not really get much out of it, because you can't really invest in cryptocurrency if you don't have any money left to spend on it. Critics, including those who are actually employed in business careers, have described the content of Hustlers University as very basic, the type of information you can find on any YouTube tutorial, where you will also find far less of the hyper-masculine aggressive posturing, flame-bait encouragement, and grade school insults that Tate's videos contain. The more notable aspect of the program, particularly to Tate, was the affiliate program. Members can make a small amount of money by spamming Tate's bullshit from their fanboy accounts in social media, taking a small cut of the advertising and membership fees. This bombardment was particularly attractive to the algorithm driving TikTok feeds. A Guardian investigation in August 2022 showed how simply viewing a few videos aimed at male users would end up flooding your TikTok feed with Andrew Tate videos. Many critics have described the Hustlers University program as either a multi-level marketing style program, aka a pyramid scheme, or even, well, there it is, it's literally a pyramid. I would say it's 100% a pyramid scheme, and you won't ever get beyond the first brick. That's all I'm going to say about that. Tate denies these allegations, calling the program an affiliate program, same as Amazon or Spotify or anywhere else. Due to increased social media attention and subsequent bans, Tate closed Hustlers University in August 2022. He relaunched the scam years later that year as The Real World, with a higher price and exclusive usage to the Telegram platform. On August 31st, 2023, the BBC revealed that they had obtained a sample selection of chat logs from Tate's War Room chat room. These leaked chats allegedly indicated that one of the War Room classes was a PhD course. PhD in this case, childish standing for Pimpin' Hose degree, where members were given instruction on how to be a lover boy Romeo pimp type groomer in order to lure women into performing on adult webcams. The leader of this War Room course was a self-proclaimed wizard who went by the name Iggy Smallowis, real name Miles Sonkin, who, according to the BBC, was a former member of the two previous cults and developed interest in the far right in the 2000s. War Room members who subscribed to the course were encouraged to use psychological manipulation, referred in chats as Pavlovian conditioning, and even violence in order to remove the victim's entire support structure from her life, isolate the victim from her family, friends, and past, and completely force submission to the pimp, including tests of submission such as getting women to tattoo the War Room members' initials on their bodies. Most of the profits from the webcam shows, of course, went to the War Room pimp, not the victim. From these chats, the BBC was able to identify 45 potential victims between March 2019 and April 2020, although this total is likely an underestimate. Jesus Christ almighty. Later times. Deplatforming. In August 2022, Tate was banned from Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. This ban did not remove the widespread message from his fans have spread on social media. Conversion to Islam. Any Christian who believes in good and understands the true battle against evil must convert. Tate spews more bullshit on Twitter 24th of October 2022. On October 24th, 2022, Andrew Tate converted to Islam. In case you didn't know what this meant. Shilling for cryptocurrency. Despite saying he did not endorse shitcoins and that cryptocurrency was a scam, in 2024 he said he would be launching his own cryptocurrency. Top G, the G stands for crypto. If he got 50,000 retweets. The tweet was later deleted. Sex Pest Solidarity Campaign. Shortly after Trump was convicted in New York, in a show of solidarity for a fellow sex pest, announced he was donating $200,000 to Trump. And yes, apparently Tate dropping the N-word is just... at this point, why would he not do that? I mean, I know it's strange as it is to say, but are you really expecting like Andrew Tate's entire whatever the hell he does it just keeps going on and on. Rape and human trafficking allegations. Sometime in the aftermath of a certain riot, Tate fled to Romania with his brother due to believing that he will be much less likely to be caught in a sexual assault investigations. Unsurprisingly, the Romanian police responded by raiding his home in April of 2022. While the investigation was ongoing, police found 2 women, one American and one Romanian, being held captive at Tate's home. Thank you so much to the police department of the policemen and women of Romania, because, good lord, making sure that he doesn't get out of this is literally the best thing. If there was ever one thing I can absolutely say when I get to the pearly gates about Romania, it's that they more than did their service by getting this arsehole Tate behind bars or at any as best as they could, and I wish them all the best for that. Detention. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, see if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together. Whether you agree or disagree with what I did with their loyalty, submission, and love for me doesn't matter. You cannot reject the results, and the results were simple. My girlfriends would do more for me than 99.9% of men's wives would do for them. Andrew Tate idiotically admitting to his scheme on his own website. He tried to remove it, but it was already too late. Way to go, you absolute moron. The Romanian Anti-Organized Crime Unit detained Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan on suspicions of them being involved in human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized criminal group. Specifically, prosecutors allege the Tates are involved in recruiting, housing, and exploiting women for pornographic content. 6 victims were identified that allegedly were forced to perform pornographic sex acts under the threat of violence, including 2 occasions where one of the suspects used violence and psychological pressure to rape a victim. Despite speculation on the internet, as well as some questionable reporting from questionable news sources like the New York Post, that a pizza box pictured in a video by Andrew Tate, which he recorded and posted during a Twitter feud with Greta Thunberg, provided crucial evidence to Tate's detention. The Romanian Anti-Organized Crime Unit stated the pizza box had nothing to do with this. I mean, it did, but at least, you know, the rest of the world now knew, so they could have just tipped this off to the police as well. On the 30th of December 2022, Tate's detention was extended from 24 hours to 30 days. 10 properties and land owned by the Tate brothers or their companies were subsequently raided by the Romanian authorities. House arrest. Andrew Tate was free from detention only to be put in detention again, which was his own home, and the house arrest expired on the 29th of April 2023. BBC interview. Tate's house arrest had expired, and during the time and after many things happened. However, one thing of importance that happened after Tate's house arrest was the BBC interview on the 1st of June 2023. The interview was between BBC journalist Lucy Williamson and Tate about the issues of his beliefs and crimes. Here is a list of what the interview concluded. Tate denied any crime allegations against him, does not believe in the mainstream media, does not believe any of the victims that he hurt, believing that some of his comments were taken out of context, believing he's a force for good and acting in God's path. Officially indicted. On the 20th of June 2023, Romanian officials ended the criminal investigation and formally indicted Andrew Tate and his brother on charges of human trafficking and forming an organised crime group. In addition, one of the suspects, per the Washington Post, most likely Andrew Tate himself, was also charged with rape. The case went to the Bucharest court's preliminary chamber, which is to schedule a trial start date in Romania's backlogged courts. The Tates were barred from international travel before their trial after the application to spend Christmas with their poor sick mother in the UK was denied by the courts. Extradition to the UK. On March 12, 2024, a Romanian appeals court approved the brothers' extradition to the UK following their pending Bucharest trial. The extradition warrant was issued after Tate's friend Aidan Ross live-streamed a text from Tate indicating that the brothers were planning on fleeing Romania. The Tates denied the intention to flee, and the allegations brought by 4 women who crowdfunded a civil case after the UK Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute, of sexual aggression in 2012 to 2015. But following the appeal court's ruling, claimed returning to the UK was what they had wanted all along. Now, to be honest, at this point, this is sort of where we are at currently. We are sort of a little bit where we are at. This sort of covers a lot of things from start to end. We find out that Andrew Tate was a piece of shit from the very beginning. He was extremely cocky, extremely arrogant, and literally believed that he could not be stopped and therefore nothing was ever going to stop him, and then took it so completely. Andrew Tate is, well, basically, he is somebody who I would best describe as swayed. Swayed means that he's sort of more extradited in the pursuit of power, the power over other people. And you can use power in many different ways. With the right amount of money, you can buy powerful men and powerful weapons. With power, you can use it to dominate over people. With power, you can use it to influence other people. With power, you can corrupt. And as we could see right here, probably his early training in fighting caused Andrew Tate to, well, as they say in the trade, corrupt absolutely. And he doesn't really have anyone else to blame except himself, as well as his brother Tristan. And if there's one thing that I think we could all agree on, just to end this, don't be like Andrew Tate. I know that sort of goes a little bit without saying, but I genuinely do not know. Even just actively talking about him makes me feel a little bit sick, because it's kind of the majority of what I sort of already knew because of how much he was being talked about, but it's the depth of all this and how much he got away with, and, well, even to this day, who knows, probably this might not even be the end of it. Who knows? And, well, there you are. So I'll just say this: if you're watching this and you feel also that you feel a little bit insulted and you feel almost intimidated by Andrew Tate's words and comments and actions, just remembers that Andrew Tate can't come after you anymore, and don't let people like that in, because no amount of power or wealth or Romeo pimping schemes in the world is worth your self-respect. It's not worth that. And with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.